Hey guys, welcome back to Cheney's TCG store. I'm back with another market watch today. Since we've got Ghosts from the Past 2, you probably wondered what's happened to the original prints of the cards that got reprinted, and that's what I'm going to be covering today. So with that aside, we can go ahead and dig in. The first card is going to be Galaxy Soldier. This card has a history of every time it gets reprinted, it drops in price. And then it kind of settles at the same price it was before, before the reprint. So do I think this card is going to go back up to $20, $25 for the ultra rare reprints? No, I don't, but I do think it has potential to be a double-digit card for sure. But the card I'm interested in looking at today is going to be the World Superstars Secret Rare, being the highest rarity, and I think is probably the first print as well. Could be wrong. It's either close to the first print or is the first print. My guess it is the first print, but this was around $30 before the reprint, I believe. No, more towards 25. Surprisingly, I thought it'd be more than that. But it is down to $17 for near mint first edition, and then bottoming out to 18. There are plenty of play sets here for the 17 to 18 range. But I guess the question is, should you grab this card now? I think this is a fair price, but at the same time, I think that this will bleed a little bit more before it goes back up. I do think that the ultra rare that will maintain that the new reprint will maintain the 2 to 3 range, and then slowly start to move up here in a couple of weeks. But if you don't want to wait or you don't want to worry about missing out, I think this is a fair price to get this at. It's not going to bleed any. I don't think it's going to go below 15, in my opinion. 15 would be like the absolute bottom out point, just because this card is getting pretty old now, and it looks really, really good. And this is the print that everybody wants. So I wouldn't be worried about buying it now and it crashing. Next is going to be Sky Cavalry Centura. So the original print is Secrets of Eternity. It's the same rarity as the reprint. It's also an ultra rare. But this is $17.50 for near mint first edition, bottoming out towards 18 to 20, and then going up towards 22 to 23. Would I pick this card up? Absolutely not, because I just don't think it's, for one thing, Secrets of Eternity, even though I have the play mat here, like it was a terrible set. I don't think it wasn't even that old of a set. I don't think people are going to care about the original print enough to pay 25 times, or even more so, probably 50 times the price of the reprint, because the reprint right now is under $1, I believe. No, it's right. It's right at around $1. With that being said, I think that the reprint's a great pickup at $1, because I do think it'll see play in splites potentially. But with that said, like I said, I would stay away from the Megatins for sure. And the original print just doesn't seem worth it, especially since it's the same rarity, and also not from a set that's not really that old. Moving on, we have Ryza. Again, reprinted and Ghosts from the Past under $1. No, I think it's actually slightly above $1. I think that's wrong. We will actually, I think this will help a little bit. Let's just switch into this view. So about $1.20 to $1.40 for the reprint, but the original print is going to be running around $30 to $35 for near mint first edition. Should you grab it? I don't think so. I mean, this is Duelist Alliance, so it is older. Like, I think Duelist Alliance was 2016 or 2017. Definitely one of those years. Maybe, no, I don't think it was 2015. I think it was 2016 or 2017, but I think it was 2017. But I don't know. I would stay away from this at $35, because you only need one of these, and I think this will continue to bleed its value. If you just wanted a secret rare, you can get the Megatin reprint secret rare for $13. I would honestly rather you do that if you just really want a secret rare than spend $35 on the first edition, because I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think that it's going to rise in value from where it's at now. It's just going to continue to bleed. Should you pick up the ultra rare reprint? Only if you're playing it. I don't think it's a good investment long term, just because this card wasn't seen play before Flunderies. So if something happens to Flunderies, this card is going to be worthless. But with that being said, if you're playing the deck, it's a great, amazing deck. And dollar is fine. And if you really just wanted to go higher rarity, 13's not too bad either. Next is Dugares. The original print is Battles of Legend Heroes Revenge. They are the same rarity. We will take a look at the original print here. $4 for near mint first edition. Yeah, bottoming out to 4. Yeah, it looks like $3.50 to $5 is kind of where it's going to be. In my opinion, it's not bad to have the original version, but I don't think that it's going to honestly matter because they're the same rarity. Battles of Legend Heroes Revenge, it's not that old relatively. And I think it's worth it to just get these dollar stacks, honestly, because I think if this card saw play, there wouldn't be a big price differential in them if they both got bought out, to be honest with you. And this is already pretty low on listings. It's not 85 is not low per se, but it's lower than it should be for a set that just came out. Usually we see cards in the 200s at this point, which means people aren't listing it for this price there, because people are definitely opening this set, but they're seeing the price tag and saying, no, thank you. I'd rather hold on to it for $1. Next is going to be Lubion. The original print is the Battles of Legends Heroes Revenge Secret Rare. So the original print is higher rarity, it being secret, and the price is dropping down to $8.70 here, bottoming out to $9.48. This is a thing about this card though. It's secret rare, whereas like the Dugares was just ultra rare. I think that this is a good buy long term because you got number collectors long term. Obviously collecting's down quite a bit right now. But with that said, this is a number card, whereas so is Dugares, but I don't think that people are going to care as much because it's the same rarity. But the other thing is here is this card is seeing play right now in Master Duel. And I think that some people are trying this out in the actual TCG. I'm not sure with how much success, probably not too much, considering we know what the top decks are. But I don't really know it's hard to tell where the bottom out price is going to be for this card. It could be, where it's at currently at the $8 to $9 range, or it could go down slightly a little more. I don't think that it will drop much more, to be honest with you. I think that the secret rare, it held a really high price point before. And I think that it's going to maintain quite a bit of different price differential between the ultra rare. So I would say, maybe have one of these for your collection. I wouldn't go crazy on them. But for bulk, I would buy the ultra rare reprint just because they're so cheap. Not bad to have a couple of play sets of the ultra rare. You don't need to go crazy and buy 100 of these, but having a few is nice, I think. Next is going to be Hope Harbinger, Dragon Titanic Galaxy, number 38. The original print is going to be Premium Gold, Infinite Gold. These are $7.40, going up to $9 for Near Mint First Edition. These are gold secret rare, but I do think for a gold secret rare, this actually looks pretty good. Me personally, I would want to play the ultra rare reprint, but some people, might really enjoy this. I don't think that it's a good buy at this price, in my opinion. I would rather just get the ultra rare reprint, which is a lot cheaper for one. You can get stacks for a lot cheaper, and I think a lot of people are going to gravitate towards the ultra rare versus a gold rare. You never know, maybe the collectors would want the original print, but I kind of just doubt it. I think that people would rather go for the ultra rare. They're $1.80 for the ultra rare reprint, going up to $2. This card did bottom out to 90 cents to $1. So hopefully you got it then. But if you did not, this is also not a bad price to pay for the card. Next is Retaliating Sea. So the original print was Clash Rebellions, but since it's a common, I'm going to consider the highest rarity to be super rare. Before the printing, I would consider this more as the original printing because it's the highest value card, even though it's not technically the first printing. But it's starting at $4.20 here for light play, and then near mint at $6. To be honest with you here, I would just skip this altogether. If you want to, it's not a bad price to pay for it, but I just think that it's probably a better investment to get the ultra rare. I think most people are going to go for the ultra rare. I am one of the few that likes OTS supers a lot, but most people aren't going to care. Like, they would much rather pick up 5 times as many copies of the ultra rare versus spending, what they're going to spend on the super rare. But these are 65 cents, and kind of bulk copies here, not a ton of copies at that price point. But I think that's a really good price to get these at. This is one of the cards I mentioned at 30 cents on pre-sale, but I do think this is a sleeper card. Very, very good card that was bought out. I think the super rare is $25 before the reprint. So this did cause quite a splash in value for this card in all copies. Next, we have this Shuda. It got reprinted as ultra rare. It goes from the past. We're gonna do this. But the highest rarity before was the super rare from the OTS tournament pack. Those are going for $1.89 for light play, going up to $2 for near mint. And the reprint ultra rare is $2.15. I think it bottoms out to like $2.50. I did end up getting these for like 70 to 80 cents on pre-sale. Like, when I say pre-sale, like an hour before pre-sale ended and the copies went live. But honestly, I think I might just sell the ultra rares that I get in and get the super rares. Because I'm just weird like that. I would rather play the OTS super rares because they're more rare. But I think either version's fine. It's just going to come down to, yes, the super rare is a lot more rare, but it's going to come down to personal preference, because now you can match all of your tennies as ultra rares, but you can also match a lot of your tennies as OTS super rares. So up to you what you decide. I think either one's a good investment long term. Stay away from the other copies. I ended up buying the rares before we got the reprint, but I mean, obviously didn't get affected that much because they were already under $1, I think, when I got them. But yeah, I'll be replacing with the ultra rare, and then I will be making up my mind whether or not I want to get the super rare as well or trade them out. Next is Albert. So we have the ultra rare reprints going for $17.89, going up to $19 really, and the original print being at $59 to $60. The thing about this card in general is we still could get a reprint in the 10s, but I'm kind of leaning towards maybe we won't, because it seems like a lot of like having 2 reprints in 1 year is a little odd, but it's been done time and time again. So it's really just a 50-50. I wonder if they will or not, but at the same time, I think another reprint probably will hurt the values of both of these cards, but the secret rare is going to hold more value depending on what the reprint is. If it's a prismatic, then it will hurt the original print pretty bad. But if it's like a super rare, I don't think it's really going to affect the secret rare. Maybe the secret rare would come down like another $15 to $20. But if we got like another super ultra rare reprint, this version would be significantly cheaper, like $5 or less, maybe $8 at most. So be careful with that. I'm not investing in Albert right now, to be honest with you, because I'm worried about reprints, or just there's a short period of time before we have Splite come out, and then I think these cards will be cheaper in general. I did buy a playset of the ultra rares, but I don't really count that as investing because that's the deck that I'm going to be playing. So that's just, I'm okay with whatever happens for that from that standpoint. But secrets aren't too bad. This is very tempting to me. But to me, if I'm going with the secret rare, I count that as an investment because there's a cheaper option available. and I just not okay with losing value on it. But this did crash down from, I think at the peak it was $150, maybe slightly above that, and so it's lost $100 in value, just about, which is crazy. Hopefully you didn't buy it at that price, because I was pretty strong against that buy. Next is Vision Hero Ferris. This was a $50 plus card before the ultra rare reprint. The original print is from Battles of Legend Heroes Revenge. We're going to see what the pricing is going for here. So we have some here for $15. Yeah, $15 across the board. Honestly, a really good pickup. I do think that I used to have this card a long time ago, and unfortunately sold it like $10. That was like right when I got into the game and didn't know what I was doing. But with that being said, I do think this is a good long-term investment for you to grab, because heroes are just very collectible, and after these reprints, they usually just start floating back up. And like for hero players, it like just doesn't even matter. Like if it has reprints, like they're still gonna, the true hero collectors are gonna float towards these original prints. I do think this will bounce back strong in the coming years, and it's something that I personally would like to pick up shortly. But on top of that, that doesn't mean that the ultra rare is bad either, because there are tons of hero players that just want this card but can't afford the secret rare, or would rather not invest that kind of money into it. They're just okay with having a copy in general. So I do think that the ultra rare is also a decent investment. It is going for $2 here, going up towards $3. I don't think that's bad, but you could risk waiting longer to see if it'll come back down towards $1.50. But honestly, with the price potential for this card being $10 to $12, maybe even $15 in the future, it might not be worth risking the price going higher from here if you wanted to invest in this card. But I guess the moral of the story, either one's fine, but secret rare preferably, or both. Both is always good too. Next is going to be Halka Fibrax. This card, I want to invest in a lot of copies of the reprint ultra rare because they're so cheap. But I am worried about this card ending up on the ban list at a certain point. Once we get past this ban list, and if Hulk isn't hit in some way, then I will be investing into quite a bit more of these. But right now it's just too risky. So if you need a print for yourself to play, 440 is fine. I did order one for me to play, but I'm not going to order more until I see the ban list come out. The original print is like $11 to $12, I believe, but I don't think it's selling because it still says market price at $23. Yeah, $12 for the original print. Stay away from that. Like, it's not worth it, because this is just a side set anyways, and was from a couple of years ago, so it's not old. So honestly, if this does like make it past the ban list and gets bought out, the original print is not going to be much more than the reprint, to be honest with you. Ultimate rare though, we'll see where these are at. So we're at 94 for late play, and near mint also at 94. Not a bad time to get into it. Could have flowed down a little bit lower, yes, but the reason why I'm not rebuying mine that I sold is I just would rather see what happens on the ban list. This could potentially be picked back up. But like I said, I'm not dropping big money until I see what the format's going to look like for the next 3 months after this ban list. Next, Vision Hero Increase, similar price to Ferris. The original print is going for around $14, I believe. So we have a light play here for 12, near mint at 13. I do believe this is played as a one of. Could be wrong there, but I do think it's played at one copy. But I also think that it's going to be a good pickup. I would maybe more so on this card wait to see if it goes down lower. Ferris, I wouldn't necessarily wait on Ferris. But if you just want to get the ultra rare, it's fine. It's $1 or under. Not as solid as an investment as Ferris, but it's not bad to have a copy or two laying around. I guess that's kind of the good thing about if you did want to open for fun, like a lot of these cards, as long as you don't sell them, they probably will gain some value over time. That's like kind of most of the Ghosts from the Past stuff that I wanted to go over for now. At least that's like the ones that kind of had high value first editions before getting reprinted. I'm sure I missed some, but we'll continue to cover Ghosts from the Past time to time, especially for the next 2 weeks. After the next 2 weeks, I'm sure things will start to cement a little bit more, and then we'll be covering it less and less often. But since we have that part of the market watch done, I'm going to go into a couple of cards that I wanted to point out. First is Dark Infant at Ignister. We do have Heat Soul now, so I do think that Cyberse is going to be a solid rogue deck. I don't know if people are going to adopt the Heat Soul card into this deck. I mean, it probably just depends on what you want to do. But this card is very, very important for Ad Ignister in general. So if you are playing the deck, you do have to play this card. And it's a solo print and from Lightning Overdrive. We probably will get a reprint this year. So if you wanted to wait, that's fine as well, because if it gets an ultra rare, you'd probably want to grab the ultra rare over this anyways. But just so you know, these are going for $1. So if you did have these in bulk and you don't care about this deck, I mean, you could offload them too before it gets a reprint. Up to you. This card, however, the Arrival Cyberse at Ignister, is a solo print from Eternity Code and has not got a reprint, which it should have in the 2021 10s and didn't. So this probably won't get reprinted for a long time. I just don't know where they would stick this. With that said, it's been trending up over the last few months, up above $1. This is something I would have a copy or two laying around. And if you wanted to stick, say $10 into it and get 10 copies, that wouldn't be bad either. But this is something the deck needs. It's kind of the boss monster for this deck, and it's really, really hard to get over. Next is Gale Dagra. So I just wanted to bring this card up because with my branded deck, I'm going to be playing 3 copies of this, and I've cut the Nadir package that I'm playing just because it wasn't performing how I wanted it to, and I just really didn't want it in the deck anymore. I wanted to open up some slots. So I'm playing Gale Dagra at 3 so that I can play the Schism still and the Winda and stuff in my extra deck. But that's more of kind of like the spice choice for me that I think is kind of cool and fun. You don't have to play that, but I did want to mention another use for this card. Besides playing that smaller Shadal engine, if you want to play this, like earlier, I was playing online, and I'm playing 3 Alibur and stuff and everything, but I didn't draw any Aliburs. I didn't draw the one kit, Springing's kit that is. I didn't draw Branded Fusion. I didn't draw Branded in Red. I didn't draw anything really to get my turn started. All I drew was Shadal Schism, Gale Dagra, and hand traps. But since I got Gale Dagra, I was able to send Albion, and I was able to send App Cologne so that I would have a material to make Winda on my opponent's turn. But if you're not playing Winda, that part is useless to you. But the relevant part of this would be sending your Albion so that you get access to your Branded Fusion, Branded Opening, or whatever you want. You could also, go into Branded Opening and activate that on your opponent's turn. But what I did was I set up the Winda, and then with Albion, I set the Branded Fusion, and I was able to stop my opponent with the Winda, and then I made it back to my turn and was able to go off and ended up winning the game. But just thought that was a pretty cool interaction, because if you didn't know, this isn't once per turn, so you can do this twice and send 2 cards from your extra deck to the graveyard. And it is unlimited, so you can play this at 3 if you want to. So it doesn't even have to be branded. I just wanted to throw this out there as a tech choice for really any fusion decks, but or any decks at all, really, just depending on if you're wanting to get cards from your extra deck to the graveyard. But light play first edition, light play unlimited, like around 70 cents. Near mint unlimited, 75 cents, and then going up to $1 here for the rare version. And then let's see, Here's a playset here for 99 cents for the Unlimited. I just picked up Unlimited because I could not find a first edition playset that was for a decent price. There's two here for $1.50, but like on the first page, you can see the lightly played first edition for 75 cents. So yeah, I didn't think it was worth going in. Like it was going to end up being like $3 for a playset of lightly played first edition per copy, so it wasn't worth it. But if you didn't want this original print rare, there's also a reprint and Cyber Strike. I would recommend going with the rare over the Cyber Strike, but it's up to you what you want to do. This card is going for 10 cents, and you can get bulk copies here for 10 cents. And I get free shipping because I'm a subscriber. So there's two cheap options. Jesus, I can't speak. And yeah, I just think it's something to keep your eye on for the future. Okay, lastly, I wanted to go over Masterpiece, the True Draco Slaying King. Just got bought out recently because this was included on a Yu-Gi-Oh! Official like YCS poster. But as I've seen other channels point out, that poster has just been recycled for years. And it's not indicative of this card coming off the ban list in the future. Like if this card comes off, I really don't think it has anything to do with that poster or banner that they're using. But anyways, the price point is 31 here for near mint unlimited, going up to 30 or $40 really for lightly played first edition if you count the $5 shipping, and bottoming out to $40 here. I would not be buying these. If you have extra copies, I would sell them. I would just keep like maybe one or two for yourself. So like if you bought this as like a ban list speculation and you have 6-8 copies or whatever, I would offload a couple. Even if you want to keep a playset or a little bit more for yourself, if you have a ton of these, I would get rid of a few at that price point because I don't think that it will come off the ban list, even though I think it should. I don't think it's that broken that it can't come off the ban list. I think if a card doesn't, this is my opinion, I think if letting a card off the ban list doesn't make it immediately like a top contender, like a tier 1 deck, then just let it happen. Like why are we holding back these poor decks that just want to be a tier 2 deck? This doesn't make sense to me. Like I get it, they kind of want to, they do this not only to make the game more fair, but they also want to cycle decks kind of without cycling decks. Like for example, Zodiac, they just said it's no longer going to be competitive. We're killing this deck because it was competitive for years and years and years. So I think that's kind of their same stance on True Draco, is it was too dominant for too long, even after many cuts they made on the ban list. I just think that they just don't want this deck back, kind of. But hopefully they'll change their stance on that for you True Draco players. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for subscribing if you are, and thanks for continuing to watch these videos. But that aside, you guys have a great day. I will catch you guys later.